Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. My name is Emily White. I'm the Executive Director of Career Success at UC Santa Cruz. And it's my pleasure to be presenting to you tonight on internships experience and career success, and really discussing with you how you and we can support your student's career journey. Tonight, we are going to be concentrating specifically on internships and experiential learning. We are going to be holding another webinar in March, and that one is going to be more focused on helping students launch uh, into full-time job search and or to graduate school. So I just wanted to make that clear so you understand the focus of this evening. How this is going to run is that I've got a presentation for you that will probably take about 20 to 25 minutes. Then I'm going to invite some of my wonderful colleagues to come on screen, and we're going to answer some of your burning questions. Near the end of the presentation, our Q&A feature will be turned on, and you can go ahead and put any questions that I may have not answered yet into the Q&A field in Zoom, and we'll do our best to answer all of your questions. And we are going to stick to our time frame. We're going to end at 7 p.m. and have you on your way. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so how does career success support students? We help students explore. That we help them explore themselves, we help them explore career fields, and explore what's out there. We help them prepare by gaining experience, locating the experience, finding it, gaining it, make meaning of them. And we help them succeed. So we help them create successful applications so they can secure those internships or those experiential learning opportunities. So we're going to go ahead and dive into each of these areas more deeper. All right, as I mentioned, we help students with career and self-exploration, and we have several tools that I'd like to highlight for you. We have our Focus 2 assessment. This tool allows students to take 5 assessments, and from the results helps them choose a major, explore occupations, and hopefully make some informed career decisions. Plus, it also offers a Am I Career Ready assessment, which I'll explain a little bit later in the presentation. Then we have a tool called What Can I Do with This Major? That would be the next step. So we would really recommend all students take the Focus 2 assessment and then further explore career paths and the type of employers that hire in the field by using What Can I Do with This Major tool. You can find these tools on our website, and all the tools are free for students to use. Part of exploring is connecting with professionals and networking. In fact, 79% of our recent grads have told us that they found their most recent internship via networking. So I can't underscore the importance of networking. Okay, so we provide students the opportunities to network on campus. I'm going to go through some of these in a little more detail, but we provide them opportunities to network through career industry paths. We recommend that they talk with UCSC contacts like upperclassmen and faculty and helpful staff. We help them identify personal contacts that might already exist in their network. We offer opportunities for students to network through recruiting events, through alumni industry panels, and we help to students to connect with alumni and professionals on LinkedIn. So a few of these in more detail. We offer 6 industry pathways that students can join. They can receive updates on events, internships, and industry information. We send a newsletter every 2 weeks, and students can subscribe to multiple newsletters or one newsletter, and they can kind of come and go depending on their interest. We also curate events around these industry areas. So this is a really great way for students to dive into an industry and to learn more. Another way we help students network and build those connections is through recruiting events that we hold on campus. So here are two upcoming career fairs that'll be happening this winter. They're career and internship fairs. We had five this last fall, and we'll have a few more in the spring as well. We also invite companies to come to campus to hold information sessions. So that's when maybe they'll have an evening to themselves, right? And they'll host students and they'll specifically talk about their opportunities. So, what type of companies, right? And who are these companies, you might be wondering? So, this is a list of some companies that have attended our career fairs or held employer information sessions over the last year. This is not an exhaustive list, but these were some that I thought that you might recognize. Okay. We also help students network and connect with alumni using LinkedIn. In fact, LinkedIn has a really great tool. It's called the Alumni Tool, where students can explore real world job titles, company names from alumni. They can look at what alumni studied. They can look currently where they work. They can look at their profiles and they can find out information about, the path that alumni took and almost kind of reverse engineer, what they could be doing with their major. We also teach students how to build a LinkedIn profile and really use LinkedIn to the best of its ability. But this is a tool that I wanted to point out, the alumni tool. If you have a LinkedIn profile, I recommend that you go in and you look at the alumni tool. You can look at UCSC's alumni tool, or you can look at the alumni tool of the university that you graduated from as well and explore it that way. Okay, so we talked about how we help students explore and network. Next, we help students prepare by developing career skills. These are the skills that, some people call them soft skills. Well, in fact, I think these are critical skills. So these are skills like problem solving, ability to work on a team, written communication, initiative, and so on. And these are the skills that employers look for any candidate. And in a job market that is rapidly changing and that is a tough job market, these are the type of skills that are really important that our students gain and find opportunities where they can gain these and where they can talk about these and where they can showcase these in their documents and in their interviews to employers. So, some digital ways that we can help students gain some skills. I mentioned that focus to assessment earlier, right? That had 5 mini assessments on there. The sixth assessment is the Am I Career Ready, where students can assess their career readiness skills, kind of similar to those skills that I listed on the previous slide. And so they can take this assessment and they can look at those skills and they can rate themselves, and then they can they can discover different ways they can build some of the skills where they might be lacking in. So two online or virtual ways they can do that is through Forage. And Forage helps students develop skills in real world job simulations from top employers. And Parker Dewey. Parker Dewey allows students to get paid as independent contractors for real world projects. Both of these opportunities, students can partake in them. We have they're offered here, and they are free for students to use. Okay, another great way to prepare is to find hands-on experience. In fact, 81% of our students have participated in a research activity, creative project, internship, or service learning. So our students are very active in experiential learning on this campus. So when I talk about hands-on experience, What I'm typically referring to are things like part-time jobs, internships, research, on-campus employment, class projects or personal projects, something like perhaps entrepreneurship, being involved in student clubs, and study abroad and interning abroad. I'm going to explain a few of these in more details and show some examples of how you can search and find some of these experiential learning opportunities. And I put an asterisk beside the opportunities that are typically you will typically find in Handshake. So what is Handshake? Handshake is our jobs and events portal. It is also how we stay connected with students and how students stay connected with us. And it's also how we connect your student to the employment and to employers. So in Handshake, students can search and apply for jobs and internships. This includes off-campus internships at leading companies and also includes on-campus internships and work study. In Handshake, they can schedule coaching appointments to meet with our staff. They can register for workshops and career fairs. And every student has a Handshake account that's waiting for them to access. I also wanted to share with you some internship posting data from the past year in Handshake, just to show you how powerful Handshake is and how many opportunities are listed there. So in the last academic year, over 46,000 external employers posted internships. I'm sorry, 46,000 external employer internship postings were posted in Handshake. 212 on-campus internships were posted, and 741 on-campus jobs were posted. So Handshake, although it's not the only tool to search for experiential learning opportunity, it is the tool that we recommend that students use early and often. Okay, and I'm going to show you what Handshake looks like. So this is a student's view in Handshake. From here, I clicked on jobs. I did a very easy just internship filter here, and this is an example of an internship that came up. Here's an example of an on-campus internship opportunity. I went to the filter tab here, clicked on campus, and here's an example of an opportunity that's posted right now. In Handshake, I mentioned that students can find events. So here I clicked on the Events tab. From here, you can find the career fairs at UCSC. You can find all of the events and workshops that we hold. And then you can also see events that employers post as well. So for example, you can see on the screen here, Microsoft Fabric Data Days. That is an event that Microsoft posted for students. And then lastly, I mentioned that Handshake can be used to schedule appointments. So here I clicked on the Career Center tab, and then to see open appointments, you would click on the Appointment tab there, and you can make an appointment to speak with any of our staff. Okay. Now, on a previous slide, I mentioned all of the opportunities, specifically the on-campus job and internship opportunities on Handshake. There are many opportunities that students can take right here on campus. They don't even have to leave campus. So my next slide is just an example of some of the opportunities. This is not exhaustive. So we have the Chancellor's Undergraduate Internship Program. That will actually be open, and students will be able to start applying to that in January. There are many departments that offer field study and internship programs. The Center of Agroecology offers a number of internship opportunities, as well as the Everett Program, the Humanities Institute, the Arboretum, the Life Lab, the Seymour Marine Discovery Center, QB3 Biotech, Genomics Institute, and so on. The list goes on and on. So I just wanted to showcase to you the amazing opportunities that students can get right here. And they don't even have to leave campus, and they can get these great experiential learning opportunities that will help them explore different career paths and build the skills that they'll need to enter the workforce and or apply to graduate school. So outside of Handshake, Handshake is the tool that offers the way that students and our on-campus employers can post the positions. But there's also some really helpful resources and websites that I would like to share with you. So a lot of students will participate in on-campus research. And there are many opportunities on our campus. In fact, over 100 research opportunities were posted this past year for undergraduate students. The undergraduate research has a robust website where they list these opportunities and where you also can filter through them based on your major, location, compensation type, right? So you can search by paid, unpaid, and so on. I mentioned student organizations also as an excellent way for students to gain real-world experience in things like leadership, collaboration, budgeting, advocacy, and event planning. And there's a website where students can explore all of the different organizations. I believe last time I checked, there were over 200 different organizations that students can join. Another way that students can gain experiential learning is through study abroad and global internships. The Global Learning Department provides students with the opportunity to graduate with a global experience. And this is a really great way that students can stand out in the job application or internship application process. And they also have a robust website where students can search for through all the different type of programs. And they often hold information sessions throughout each quarter so students can learn more specifically about these programs. And then lastly, I just added these two slides because a lot of the questions that we received was about UCSC's support for entrepreneurship. And we have a center. It's called the Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurial Development, or SEED. And SEED helps students gain hands-on experience through internships, entrepreneurship opportunities, courses, and certificates. And they also hold a venture competition where students can get together with other classmates, and they can pitch their ideas, sort of like Shark Tank, right? And they can receive funding to continue on with their opportunity. And they also have a robust website there where students can search through the different certificates and courses and workshops that SEED offers. Okay, so we talked about helping students explore and connect and network. We talked about the importance of helping them prepare to build their skills and the plethora of opportunities that students can partake on campus, and how our university provides experiential learning opportunities. And next, I'd like to share how our office helps students succeed in the application process and make meaning of their internship. Okay. I've already told you about Handshake, but I can't underscore the importance of students using Handshake early and often. We also have other tools that help students in their application. So we have JobScan. JobScan helps students optimize their resume, and it helps students pass ATS systems. That's applicant tracking systems that a lot of large companies use. And if you're not sure how to write a resume to pass those ATS systems, your resume can really get caught up, right? And can be rejected before it ever gets to a human. So that's what JobScan helps a student do. Then we also have Big Interview. And this is a resource that students can use at any time to practice interview skills. So they practice online, their simulated interviews, and then they're able to also see the simulation answer the interview, and then they can hone their interview skills, as they move forward. All of these resources that I've listed today, students can access anytime, right? So if it's 2 in the morning, right, and that's when they're applying for jobs and that's when they are building their interview skills, they can access these services at any point. Our office offers a lot of a lot of support. We offer one-on-one career coaching. This takes place in person or virtually, depending on the needs of the students. We offer career coaching year round, including summer and spring break. Access to career coaching starts during orientation and extends 2 years post graduation. So students graduate and we just don't say, well, good luck to you, right? They still can access our services and we can still support them. In career coaching appointments, we can talk about any part of the career development process, from helping students explore, figure out what they want to do. Maybe they have a major and they want to explore different career paths connected to that major. We, of course, can help them secure and find experiential learning opportunities. And then we also offer a lot of support in helping students launch in to their careers, helping them with their full-time job search, or helping them apply to graduate school. We offer many career development workshops throughout every quarter on topics like resume and cover letter writing, interview prep and salary negotiation, networking and how to use LinkedIn, applying to graduate school, and being successful in the internship and job search. And then we offer programming like career and internship fairs, graduate and professional school fairs, campus to career series, where we bring alumni to campus to share about their path from transitioning from a student to an alum. And then we also have alumni that speak on different type of industry panels. We have a robust website that we've just recently launched that contains a lot of the information that I covered today. We are centrally located on campus in the Hahn Student Services Building, just down the hill from Corey Plaza. In the Career Center, we have a professional photo booth and a career clothing closet. So students can come into the Career Center and take 3 items a quarter to build their professional clothing attire. So if they need clothes for an interview or maybe a networking event or a career fair, they can come in and see what we provide there. And then lastly, I recommend that you connect with us. Again, I've listed the website, our email, and Instagram, where we list many of our events. And so today we've talked about helping students explore, helping them prepare, and how career success helps them succeed. In March, we'll take it one step forward and we'll talk about helping students launch into the full-time workforce and or graduate school or whatever that next step might be after they graduate. And so I invite you back again to spend some time with us there. And I have one more slide I want to share because many people asked about this in the questions. And it is a common question that our office gets is, Well, where do students really land after they graduate, right? And we survey students and look at a lot of data of where our banana slugs land. And we can assure you that they land in leading and top companies across our nation. So, some of our most recent graduates have reported that they're in higher education at places like UC Santa Cruz, Stanford, or UCSF. They're in service organizations like AmeriCorps, in uh, areas like Warner Brothers and iHeartMedia, in technology companies like Amazon, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Google, and so on. And automotive industry like General Motors and Ford, and finance areas, for example, Deloitte, KPMG, and biotech, healthcare, and so on. And here's also a list of the top graduate schools that our students have been recently accepted to. So that ends our presentation about experiential learning and um, the services that our office provides for students. So at this point, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and ask that two of my colleagues come on camera, and we will start the Q&A portion. If you haven't had a chance to put your question in the Q&A, please go ahead and place it there now, and we'll do our best to get to all of the questions. Wonderful. Well, hello, Kimmy and Eric. They are going to be helping us answer questions today. Um, would you both come unmute yourself and introduce yourselves to the audience? Kimmy, do you want to start?
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Kimmy Gall. My title is Agroecology Equity Coordinator. I work with all UCSC students with a special focus on environmental studies and agroecology students, but supporting all students in finding internships, scholarships, jobs. And I'm a banana slug, graduated in environmental studies.
Great. Thanks for being with us, Kimmy. Eric?
Hey all, good evening. I'm Eric Uriel. I use he, him pronouns. I'm the Associate Director of Career Engagement here with Career Success. Pretty much I work with our team that does career coaching, industry relations, and just general partnerships all across campus. And I'm also a former UCSC banana slug. I studied ecology and evolution.
Great. Well, thank you both so much for being here today. We're going to start off with a few questions, and then we will head into the Q&A to answer some more of the questions from the participants. So, Kimmy, let's start with you. How and when should students start looking for internships?
So in general, we'll just say the earlier the better. It's a range. The timeline can be for some more competitive internships. The application process might start 6 to 12 months before the internship actually begins. But for other internships, it could be a much quicker turnaround. Our Chancellor's Undergraduate Internship Program, CUIP, will open in January to have those students start their internships in September. A lot of summer internships will, yeah, have like a December to February application season, but it really depends. And so the best thing is to just start looking so you get a sense of those timelines. So even if students aren't planning to do an internship this coming summer, now would be a great time to just see to get a sense of when the timeline is for these different internships. So the sooner that they start looking, even if they're not planning to apply, starting to take some notes and getting an idea of what those timelines are. And a lot of times, like Google will host an info session on how to apply to those internships. And so the sooner you know, like when the timeline is, the more likely you are to also catch those sorts of opportunities as well.
Great. Thank you, Kimmy. Eric, I'll field the next question to you. What are the most effective steps students can take to find and prepare for internships across various majors, and including competitive fields like biology, psychology, and engineering.
Yeah. So I think essentially I'll boil it down to kind of like two key things. One is really like first creating a plan and really staying organized. So partly what that includes is having students really do research of what is it, kind of doing a little bit of that self-reflection with some of the tools mentioned before of like really having students understand what is it that they're interested as far as different career paths and then finding experiences that will help them develop the skills that they need. So I know that's really overwhelming, right? Especially for students who are not super familiar with that process. So we definitely have wide range of tools and resources, as Emily mentioned before, of ways that students can kind of start tackling that big problem, right? But essentially, like once they have that, some of those digital resources will be helpful. Obviously, meeting with us and us being able to guide students and provide them feedback on their plan will be helpful. But the other thing is really for students to get comfortable connecting with other folks on campus too, and really utilizing all of the resources. So being able to talk to their professors is a really great resource to just learn about different career resources. That will also be a really important resource if they want to pursue grad school in the future because they will definitely need letters of recommendations, but also connecting with their peers, other students, such as like student clubs is another really great way to be able to share resources and knowledge. And then connecting with alumni is another really great resource to learn about what are some of the opportunities. Um, but essentially, yeah, just as they do that research, it's then kind of nailing it down to like what are some of the target organizations that they want to pursue. I think really the key to is broadening the organizations that they want to target, right? Because obviously everybody is super familiar with like the popular companies and some of the ones that Emily shared too, which is really great. And we encourage them to do that, but we also encourage them to diversify their portfolio of organizations that they're looking for because if a company is popular, a lot of people are going to be applying to the same company. So definitely doing that and also supplementing it with other maybe less known companies, especially as they're getting started and developing their um, skill sets. So that's really the big thing is creating a plan, staying organized. And the other main thing here is just once they do find those opportunities that they want to apply to is the important thing is they need to really tailor their application material for each individual application. So instead of just applying to like dozens and dozens of applications just with the same material, they're going to need to find a balance of like quality versus quantity. And again, we're here to support them with some of our digital resources or our coaching resources to help them with that process.
Eric, can you explain a little bit more when you say they need to tailor their applications? What do you mean by tailor?
Yeah, so it's basically a lot of what we focus on is helping students review like what's the job description, looking at what are the actual skills and experiences that they're looking for opportunities. And then it's helping students really, one, reflect on what experiences they already have where they can really highlight those skills and making sure that they're communicating that well, both in their resumes, their cover letters, and then eventually in the interview process as well.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'll add too, students can get a lot of keywords from the job description, right? And they should be using then those keywords, not picking up entire phrases or entire sentences, but looking at the skills and the keywords and the verbiage that are in the job descriptions or internship descriptions, and then making sure that those same words are scattered throughout their resume and their cover letter, right? To really help tailor it to the system that's reading it or the person who's reading it. Great. Kimmy, let's head to you next. What ideas do you have for students who have little prior internship or work experience and do not know what kind of job or internship they might want?
Yeah, so like Eric was saying, continuing to take some assessments, reflecting on their skills and their interests. But we really encourage students to just attend events, workshops, info sessions. There's a lot going on campus that our department provides, but also their own departments are hosting amazing authors and amazing people in the field. Just like attending those events, the career fairs, connecting with recruiters. And then also like who they might already have in their communities, their professors, having conversations about what's on their mind. Everything kind of builds off of those conversations. And then, of course, yeah, meeting with us to identify some of their skills that they might, like I've had so many students who think that they don't have a certain leadership or communication skill, but then they reflect on something they did in high school that they could definitely put on their resume as those skills or reference at an interview. So it really helps to talk those things out with us. Um, and just gaining experience. There's so many opportunities on campus and doing internships to get administrative, communications, research, leadership. There's a lot of opportunities for them to start building their career readiness skills and the type of skills that employers are looking for. And actually just reading the newsletters that their departments send out because there's so many internships, scholarships, like a lot of scholarships are not just about financial need, but it's like they're amazing opportunities to gain experience. So keeping their eye out for those opportunities to gain experience. And just because I was like briefly perusing the Q&A, I just want to like address a couple of things of just um, that we have specialized coaches and coaching appointments for like pre-health and pre-law. So both on our website, we have those resources. And then we also like students can make appointments for specific types of coaching appointments. So agroecology, pre-health, pre-law. We don't have it all divided, but things that tend to be more specific. We have some special, and then graduate school prep, whether it's just searching for graduate schools or writing your personal statement, we do have specific appointments for those.
Great. Thank you, Kimmy, for pointing that out. Yeah, absolutely. Making an appointment is a um, something that I really recommend. I recommend that students make appointments early and often. You do not have to wait until you are graduating or, going and doing the full-time job search. Connect with our office early and often. There also isn't a limit to the amount of appointments that a student can make, right? They could meet with us every week if they wanted to. And they can also meet with several of our career coaches, right? And each person can generally meet with any students, but each person kind of has a little bit of an industry area that they focus in and are uh, connecting with industry in as well. So thanks for bringing that up, Kemi. Eric, let's go back to you for this question. And we got a lot of these questions in the pre-questions that you all submitted. A lot was about AI, right? And how AI is affecting and shaping the workforce right now. So, Eric, how are the shifts in the job market, including AI and reduced entry-level hiring, affecting new graduates? And what skills or approaches best position students to be competitive and resilient?
Yeah, that is definitely a question that is hot topic and has been coming up a lot more recently. But really, the key thing is with AI, it's like affecting industries in like different ways. So the number one thing that we're really helping students with and encouraging them to do is really networking. Networking is going to be super important. So a lot of the times we're helping students really be able to know how to network with folks that are already in the industries that they're interested in pursuing. That way they can actually hear from folks who are doing the positions that they're interested in doing to see like how exactly is just AI in general or the current just job market really like impacting their specific industry. And we can give them general guidance, but like if they're able to connect with people who are doing those particular industries on a day to day, they're the ones that really know like what exactly is happening, what are the most relevant skills that are going to help somebody who's breaking into that respective industry. So that's really where we try to focus on. Let's go directly to the resource. So what we really focus on is really educating the students and coaching them of like how to use tools like the LinkedIn alumni tool to one, be able to find who the alumni or industry professionals are. That way they can actually connect directly with them. um, Students can also attend some of our career events that we do, especially when we do have like recruiters or guest panelists who are in those respective industries to be able to, again, have that opportunity to connect directly with them and asking about those questions. The thing with networking too that's also really beneficial is it really helps students tap into the hidden job market. So essentially with the hidden job market, it's the positions or the roles that are filled, but they're not always publicly advertised, like on a job board like LinkedIn or Indeed or Handshake. And really, the only way that folks will learn about them is through like a job referral through somebody who's already in those companies that they're looking to break into. So that's another reason why we encourage students to really develop relationships with. Again, alumni is a really great resource to start getting their foot in the door. Um, and it's not just to get job referrals, but like other things that we've also heard from recruiters is if students go to like their info sessions, even just being able to be identified as like a student or an applicant that has been proactive and has connected with somebody in the company. Another way that ATSs are utilized is not just to kind of like scrape resumes, but it's also used to like keep notes and track where applicants are in the application process. So like I've heard recruiters say like, if you're planning to apply to our opportunities, send me an email. That way I can put a note in the ATS system that you attended our info session. So even attending some of these career events really help students at least increase their odds of at least getting their application material looked at. Because another impact with AI, not necessarily directly with the job itself, but it's also really impacting the application process. So now that it's a lot easier to generate and make more resumes and application, again, this is why tailoring is going to be super important to really like not get lost in the sea of applications. But again, if they're able to network, have those connections with folks at those respective industries, it at least helps them also increase their chances of at least getting their application reviewed. Because realistically, especially in those big companies, they're not able to look at every single application. So those are really the key things for sure is networking. The other key thing I'll mention here is just really being like adaptable and in general, like developing those career readiness skills is going to be super important because I know it was mentioned earlier in the presentation, but really from studies that are done from National Association that works both with colleges and also employers, surveys have been done of like the top three skills that employers look at in resumes, regardless of the industry, is going to be problem solving skills, team working skills, and written communication. So, like, as we work with students and they're reflecting on their previous experiences, we really try to focus on like making sure that they're well-rounded candidates. And then obviously as things come up with like AI and that being kind of the new hot topic thing, right, is they can totally like supplement those more industry specific skills, but we always encourage them, don't forget about the transferable skills, right? Because as we then look at job descriptions with them, like sometimes they're surprised as we like go through it and we actually look at job descriptions. They're like, okay, yeah, like problem solving skills and communication skills are listed even before some of the technical skills for the position. So in general, like networking and being really well adaptable, right? Because you never know when the new key thing is gonna be coming up. Because, for example, with Chat GPT, right, that only got published 3 years ago, right? So there's some of our students now that when they started here at UCSC, like Chat GPT wasn't even a thing, right? So it's like, yes, it is important to stay relevant with what's the new skills that are coming up, but really being grounded with those overall career readiness skills is going to be super important.
Awesome, Eric. Thank you. Thank you. That was a very thorough answer to that. So next question, I'll give a little bit more information. So the question from the Q&A is the clothing closet on loan? So students take the clothes in the clothing closet and they do not have to return them. They can if they want, but that's really for them to take and to start building their professional closet. How we get clothes is through donation, mostly from staff and faculty. But if any of you on the call would like to donate, let's say you've got some professional clothes, maybe you don't have a need for them anymore, we welcome donations as long as the professional clothes are clean and lightly used. But it's a really great space. I recommend students can come in and check it out. And please urge your students to come in and check out the Career Center. All right. So let's take another question from the Q&A. And Kimmy, Eric, I'll just answer it. And if it calls to one of you, go ahead and come off mute and give us your input here. So, what do you expect from parents after showing us the presentation? Do you do the same presentation to students? Which year do the students usually begin their internships? Should first year students apply for internships? Okay, that was quite a few questions. All right, let's start with the first two. What do you expect from parents after showing us the presentation? And do we do the same presentation to students?
Sure, I can jump in. I might have to look at the first part again, but as far as the second part of the question is, do students get the same presentation? Um, Yes, but we also have like we kind of do a variation of different things. So for some presentations, we do a general overview similar to what Emily provided today, but we have various other workshops that we do that go really deeper dive into some of these. So for example, like resume workshops is the popular one that we typically do. We try to do it at least a couple of times per quarter. Those are typically like 45 minutes to an hour just dedicated on that topic. Typically do like interview prep. So a little bit yes and more. We do these type of general ones, but then we also do a lot more in-depth specific ones. And sorry, the first part of that question was,
What do we hope parents will do with this information?
oh, got it. Hopefully there's some I know there's obviously like a lot of stuff on here and we don't expect you to like remember every single details. But I think really just identifying one thing that maybe as you've had conversations with students is really kind of just reminding students of like maybe one key thing that you learned from today, or if not, at the very least, encourage them to just visit Career Success, whether it's online, checking out our resources, or visiting our office. And we more than happy to kind of walk them through. And a lot of the key things is we also tailor our coaching depending on where students are. So we don't have like a copy and paste or cookie cutter approach. So we'll definitely tailor our approach depending on where students are.
Absolutely. Thank you, Eric. And for me, I hope that you urge students to connect with us early and often and just remember Handshake, right? If there's that one thing, right? Handshake is an amazing tool. Make sure, ask them, are you using it? Have you logged in? Have you looked at some events recently? Right? Maybe just some prompting, right? And just little nudges, right? To get them to connect with us. Um, Someone mentioned handshake is overwhelming. That's where it comes. Come into our office. Let us walk you through it. We also have career peers that help students like walk through the thing. Career development and job search and applying to graduate school, it's all can be really overwhelming and anxiety producing. So that's why we're here. We're here to meet with you. We're here to meet students really where they are in the process and support them through it so it's not so overwhelming. Okay, some more questions. Kimmy, which year do students usually begin internships?
Yeah, it really depends. And we want students to always prioritize their academics while looking for other ways to gain experience. Um, Early on campus, especially if you're a first year, getting on and off campus is a lot. So, like looking for on-campus opportunities is a great idea for our first year students. But again, can like still looking at what some of these timelines are, what are they interested in, so they have an idea of what they might want to do in the next couple years. Junior year can be a great time to be doing an internship or in between in summers. Just having an idea of what the opportunities are is what's the most important. So starting to meet with people and attending things so that students know like some of these might just be a summer and those are it really depends on the organization and the company. And so they might have a specific like the Google Step internship, I think is like we want sophomores and juniors, but others might really want first years and others might want new grads. And so having an idea and doing some research um, and being open to gaining experience in things that um yeah that are maybe going to challenge them a little bit, but any year is good. A little more focus on campus we recommend. There's also remote opportunities and hybrid opportunities. Those are a lot of different types of opportunities for students.
Absolutely, right. I mentioned those two, Forage, right, and Parker Dewey, especially Forage. Forage is people, students can start building skills through that. That's like totally self-paced, right? And don't forget about things like student organizations, right? A lot of times you don't have to apply and be accepted, right, to a student organization. You can join a student organization, and that's a wonderful way to build skills. An on-campus job, right? It doesn't necessarily even have to be an internship. You're going to be building those career readiness skills through that. Class projects, you might be working with other students on a project that lasts the entire quarter. Those are amazing ways also to build skills. And so that's what our office can do. It could really help tease all those experiences out because oftentimes a student will come and they'll say, I don't have any experience. And we know they really do, right? And we can go through and we can and talk with them about their specific um, path, and we can help uncover those experiences. We can help them make meaning of them. We can help them talk about them, and then we can help them say, okay, so maybe now you need to build skills in this area. And we can help them find the experiential learning opportunities that will help them build those skills. Okay, so let's maybe say two more questions before we end. Um,
There's
Kimmy?
something in the chat
Hmm.
about students uh, issues finding on-campus jobs despite having applied, and should they come in and meet with a coach?
Hmm.
Absolutely. Like students will sometimes say that they've applied to 30 jobs, and then I'll say, did you write a cover letter? Did you tailor your resume to the job description? There's a lot of things, and I don't fault them for not having those skills and that skill set yet. And so we have peer coaches they can drop in with for quick 15-minute virtual or in person, or they can make an appointment with us. Any of those are incredibly helpful. And yeah, even on-campus jobs can be competitive, but that doesn't mean we can't support students in becoming more competitive candidates.
Great. Wonderful. If Eric and Kimmy, if there was one tip and connected to, internships or experiential learning that you could share, what would be like your number one tip?
I would say having as many, well, I would say first trying to talk to somebody at the organization, or someone who's done it, like trying to talk with a person who has been in that position or is on the team. You will get the best information. And then when you get your application together, having as many people looking at it as possible. Us, your friends, your parents.
Yeah, and
Eric,
I
did
was
you hear? Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize my camera was off. But I think definitely, especially for students who are just getting started or don't already have like an internship experience, I'd just say like broaden their scope of opportunities that they're looking for. I feel like a common mistake that we see is sometimes students come with us, they don't have a lot of experience, but they have a very narrow type of internship that they want to do. So I think my number one thing is like encourage them to kind of broaden their scope, especially for like the first internship that they do, and really focusing on like developing those career readiness skills because then once they're able to get one internship, then they're able to talk about those skills that they utilize. And then in a future internship or part-time job, then they can really be a stronger candidate for like the more desired company that they might want to do. So it's definitely just being open-minded as they get started, and then as they develop more experiences, they can then kind of start to narrow down the scope of their search.
Great. Thank you both for that final tip. One last question, I'll go ahead and answer it was, is there a calendar for these events? So yes, you can find it several places. We put most of our events on the campus calendar, so you can find them there. You can find events on our website by going to the event tab, or even just from the main page of our website. It will have just a few of the upcoming events, and they'll filter through after those events pass. And really, the number one place is in Handshake. So you can see all of our upcoming career fairs, our upcoming workshops, and so on right there in Handshake. And Handshake students can register for the event, and then they'll receive reminders like, "Hey, you registered for this event. Don't forget to attend it," right? So students can attend any event. They don't have to register, but we love for them to register so they get those reminders, and so we know who's coming. Um, that really ends our session. Kimmy, Eric, thank you so much for answering questions today. Thank you all who stuck around for the whole webinar, and we invite you to come back in March, where we will concentrate more on the full-time job search and applying to graduate school. So wishing you all a restful evening and happy holidays as well.